Tremaine Edmunds has smaller hands than Terrell Bernard and Balin Spector, as well as 3 other rookies coming out in this year's NFL draft that the Buffalo Bills should surely be considering. In this video, we're going to explore those 3 options. We're going to take a look at some in-house guys that could potentially replace Tremaine Edmunds. I think it makes a lot of sense that we look in-house first, guys that have been here, such as Terrell Bernard, a former 3rd-round pick, or even Balin Spector. And a point I want to make is we saw Christian Benford start ahead of Kaiir Elam last year, so you have to know that Sean McDermott will not shy away from starting a later round draft pick over an earlier round draft pick. If Balin Spector wins out, he could very well start ahead of Terrell Bernard. And I think this is very important to understand what the Buffalo Bills are ultimately looking for. Tremaine Edmunds was that spy in the middle of this defense. He was allowed to run around freely. And that's why I believe this defense is suited to make the best NFL player at middle linebacker in a long time here, because look at this defensive line. You know, you look to your left and you got Trey White. You look to your right, you got Kaiir Elam, Christian Benford, Dane Jackson. You look in your back, we have Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. You're surrounded by top-notch talent here with Al Holcomb, Sean McDermott, and this new revamped defense for 2023. This middle linebacker is going to excel. But we need to take a look at the guys and some of the issues that we have with each and every single one of the players that we already have, and also these 3 draft picks that are going to be coming out. First, with Terrell Bernard, he kind of lacks size, and also he lacks that experience. You know, listed at 6'1", only 220 pounds. He is definitely fast, and I think being here for a year understands the game very, very well, especially for a rookie. Balin Spector was interviewed last year, and he said it really, really helped him getting accustomed to the NFL, being drafted alongside another rookie. Now, what's nice with Balin Spector is that he comes from a great top-notch school in college at Clemson, and Spector even mentioned that when he came here, he was calling the defense. That was on his plate too. So when he was filling in, he was calling this defense, something that we know Tremaine Edmunds was tasked to do, being that quarterback of the defense. Balin Spector, Terrell Bernard are both fully capable of doing that. Now, the problem really is they lack a little bit of height, they lack a little bit of overall speed, and they also lack overall size, right? Tremaine Edmunds, 6'5", 250 pounds, right? Although he has the smallest hands out of all these guys, which I think is important because Tremaine Edmunds just really wasn't a good catcher of the football. His ball skills weren't that great. His change of direction wasn't that good, breaking on the football. And he's still a great linebacker, don't get me wrong, but when we put this linebacker in the best position to succeed, the best spot probably in the NFL for the guy to just fly around and make plays, we should have expected more from Tremaine Edmunds, and I don't think, and that's exactly why Brandon Beane moved on. It wasn't willing to pay what the Chicago Bears were willing to pay. So I think the other option here is definitely the NFL draft, you know, taking a look at what we can get out of this year's NFL draft. And I think 27th overall, the Buffalo Bills are definitely considering a guy like Trenton Simpson, who is now my clear-cut number 1 linebacker for the Buffalo Bills coming out. He has 10-inch hands. He's got the biggest hands here, almost a full inch bigger than Tremaine Edmunds in size of hands. He's got great ball skills. His father was in the military. I think 17 tours in the military he did. He's got great parents, great upbringing. He's from the East Coast. He's 6'2.5". He ran a 4.4940. He flies around the football. He grew up watching Cam Newton, idolizing Cam Newton, going to Cam Newton's camps, watching the Carolina Panthers with Al Holcomb and this defense, and Sean McDermott, his defensive coordinator, specifically spoke about Luke Kuechly, growing up watching him. And I think that's absolutely huge. When we compare him to a guy like Drew Sanders and their stats and everything that goes into selecting a player, Drew Sanders had an excellent 1 season, 9.5 sacks against 6 nationally ranked teams, did an excellent job. But the thing to me with Drew Sanders, I think, is that, you know, when comparing him to Trenton Simpson, looking at the NFL Combine, I think just a natural athlete, it's a little bit more of a struggle for Drew Sanders. And I think Trenton Simpson just presents an athletic skill and ability to fly around, destruct and destroy, right? Drew Sanders, 6'5", 230 pounds. Only really 1 year of production. Did go to Alabama, and he experienced Alabama. But yeah, I don't know. I think Drew Sanders, this is definitely a second option, a great second option for the Buffalo Bills. The other guy that we have to take a look at here is Dorian Williams. And I think the Bills could definitely select him in the 3rd round, 4th round potentially. Dorian Williams, he's only 6'1". But when you take a look at all of their production, right? Trenton Simpson, throughout his college career, had 12 sacks. Drew Sanders, 10.5 sacks. Dorian Williams, 10 sacks, right? So they're all pretty fairly close in production. Dorian Williams, 6'1", about 225, 230 pounds. He had the most pass deflections out of all these linebackers coming out. I think he's potentially one of the best, if not the best, in coverage. And you have to take a look at what the Bills are being faced with, right? We have Josh Allen. We have this high potent passing attack, right? We're going to be trying to run up the score. Therefore, teams are really going to be passing it against us. Look at the philosophy. When we selected Josh Allen in that draft, it was the same year we drafted Tremaine Edmonds. We didn't really know Josh Allen was going to turn into the quarterback that he's turned into, and I think the philosophy then drafting that linebacker was get a linebacker that, a little bit bigger, great with block shedding, right? He's going to be getting beat up because we don't have the D-line, but now it's different. This is a much different team. We are suited to have a quicker, faster middle linebacker to fly around and make plays. The problem is commanding this defense, calling the plays of this defense. But keep in mind, Al Holcomb, Bobby Babich, getting a lot of praise as our linebacker coach. Al Holcomb, coming from Carolina, formerly a linebacker coach, right, is now defensive assistant for the Bills. We are going to put this middle linebacker in the best position to succeed. And I think a rookie can definitely win Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I'm definitely not worried about having an experience at that middle linebacker position. Again, spying the quarterback, being that spy in the defense, that is instincts, that is speed, right? You still need a block shed, don't get me wrong. You still have to be strong enough. But just using your speed, using your instincts to fly around, make plays, sack the quarterback, bat the ball up, interceptions, pass deflections, force fumbles, fumble recoveries. We need more out of that linebacker position. Tremaine Edmonds, without Tremaine Edmonds, the Buffalo Bills were 7-3 throughout his entire career. I mean, what were we really, really missing here with Tremaine? And this is definitely something to keep in mind. Terrell Bernard definitely seems to make the most sense, trying to get the best players on the field. I think Terrell Bernard, Balin Spector. But NFL draft, baby, we could definitely be getting Trenton Simpson, Drew Sanders, Dorian Williams. They're definitely high on my list. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, who your top choice is to start at middle linebacker. Like, subscribe, go Bills. Peace.